I even need Bowers game for?
Welcome back for another Thoughts from the Corner. I'm Adam. That's Lucy.
Hey.
That's Bauer.
And today we're talking about Baron Voodoo. This is a new one from Lucky Duck Games for 2 to 4 players. Age is 10 plus, take about 45 minutes to play. We got to play a 4-player game of this. Tonight I also played a 2-player game with my son. So in Baron Voodoo, this is a really simple abstract game, and I'm going to call it abstract. I tried to slap a theme on there, but it's abstract, in which you're going to be placing a whole bunch of dice onto this board, and then you are going to be playing like a Chinese checkers style thing where you're on your turn, you're going to jump over a die, and you're going to collect that die, and that die will be worth victory points for you, but also when you jump over it, it will give you a unique special ability, and there's 6 different special abilities because it's a 6-sided die. Crazy how that works. You also, you're going to be doing stuff on your turn. You might take another turn if you spend money. If you jump over yourself, you get a little bit of money, and it's really pretty simple at its core. But, as we're about to tell you, there's a little bit more to it than meets the eye in that aspect. One thing that I do want to mention is we have not played the team version of the game, and quite frankly, I have no desire to play the team version of the game, as I will tell you. But you can also play a team version of the game where 2 people team up. And it actually looks kind of cool on the back of the board, because you pick the colors and it looks neat. But, who wants to start on Baron Voodoo?
Sure, I will. So this game, what happens is they tried to go with that, every game will be different. And it's like each dice has 6 sides and they're all like mixed up on the board and junk. And I just feel like I never found any strategy. And I like when I play a game to be like, okay, there are several strategies that you can try. And this is like a path to victory. And it just seemed like they tried to do too much. And had they toned it down a little, maybe it would have been better.
Now, I do want to say that we did not play the advanced version of the game in which it says what you do is you just roll up the dice and you kind of spread them out there all willy-nilly. But what you could do is we could have set them out one by one by one, which, no thank you. So I imagine that could have opened some strategies depending on which side you place your dice, if it's on points or if it's on this or on that.
Even then, the variability in it. I mean, look how big this board is, right? And you're jumping, like, here. So, like, that's a lot. And like, I had a move that would move all the dice, like, down the line. So that can move that can change the board drastically right before your turn. So,
yes.
So like, it's kind of random.
It really is.
That's the way it felt. And it's like, I'll choose what's best right at this moment. And analysis paralysis. Like, I did it a few times where I was like, wait, the perfect move would be this, and wait, why am I thinking about this so much?
Yeah, because you can't really think on other people's turn except like maybe the person before you, because there's so much downtime. It's like, okay, well, what's the point of me planning like there's gonna be like we had 4 players, after my turn, like 3 people goes ahead of me. Like, there's no point in me thinking about my next turn until like Adam goes.
And they might take 2 turns. I mean, yeah. You could be looking at 6 potential turns in front of you.
And the thing is, like what you said with the advanced rules, you gotta plan it out, but it's so much tedium, and this game is too simple for that, because all you're doing is you're jumping over, trying to get to like the first to like the point goal, depending on the number of players. It's bigger the less players there are. But there's not enough time, there's not enough depth to really go into it. And there's a lot of, like, pieces and boards for, like, a simple game. And the thing is, like what you said earlier, it's like a Chinese checkers, and I'm like, I think I would rather take the time to play Chinese checkers.
You said Chinese checkers. I just feel like it's checkers. Because what's the difference between Chinese checkers and regular checkers? Isn't diagonal?
Yeah, there's like more places you can hop over
Unless
yourself.
you can't go diagonal. So it's more like checkers, which I guess is more of an insult now that I really think about it. I think you were praising it too much by saying Chinese checkers.
It's cute, and I love the production value, because the production value, like, all the dice are custom. They were like all that smooth grind. Nice. And I do like it. It's like they put some effort into it.
You like the art, correct?
Yes, I love the art.
Let's specify that. I just did.
The components were good, yeah.
This is very rare for me. Normally when I play a game, I'm not the person who dislikes it the most. Very rarely. Like, we have literally played hundreds of games together. Can you think of many other ones where I was the least liking it? That's how I feel about Baron Voodoo, and no one here likes it. So, which means I think I hate this game. So, and the main reason why I really dislike this game is because the rule booklet looks great. It looks like a spectacular rule booklet. And when I see this, and I even unboxed this, I was like, it's going to be a great rule book. I could tell. Tons of pictures, illustrations, examples. But it gives you that feel where it's like, I feel like we're not doing something right. And it does it a couple times. And actually, I did a really interesting experiment with this where I read the rules a couple times and played it with my son, and I realized we screwed something up. And I had to watch a French tutorial video in order to figure that out because there's next to no information on it. One of the joys of being a reviewer. So I said to my buddy Alan on game night, who's really good at reading rules, I was like, can you read the rules? And I'm just going to sit back and see if you make the same mistakes I do, see if it's me or see if it's the rule booklet. And he made the exact same mistakes, which obviously means that it is the rule booklet. In particular, we still don't know what is isolation. What is isolation? Because there's a specific special ability, and there's only 4 specific special abilities in the game. 25% of the special abilities, you will not know how to do them because you don't know what isolation is. And then if you go to the rules, they actually, I feel like they...
Make it more confusing.
Yes. So they show you a die that's isolated over here, and this is a pet peeve right here. If you give me an example in a rule booklet, make it a useful example. I see too many rule booklets where it's like, oh, you have the move to left ones. This is what moving to left looks like. I know what moving to left looks like. Tell me what happens if I have to go through like a snowstorm and an orphanage in that particular moving to left. Don't give me crummy examples. And this one does just that because there's isolation and then it says, okay, so isolation you would think means that there's nothing around it because they show you an example where it's kind of like that. But then they go on the next page, it shows isolation as being on the top and you're like, well, I just don't
like, is each level? Does each level have isolation? And if it is just straight up isolation, then that is a terrible.
It is the worst special ability because the way that I thought it was isolation means that there is nothing around it, and if you're just swapping 2 dice that literally have nothing around it, that is completely useless compared to everything else. Let me replace that. It's completely useless compared to the other special abilities. I'm not a big fan of abstract games, so I was naturally inclined to probably not be the biggest fan of it. But that being said, I still enjoy a good deal of abstract games.
Oh, yeah.
And there was the other one, too, that Alan got it wrong. We have to push it, and I got it wrong when we did it, too, which is why we had to stop shooting that video. And I didn't like the rules. I didn't like the gameplay. I was bored. I agree with you, where it's like, I see a little bit more strategy than you do, where it's like, do I want to take extra points by capping my things?
But it also just depends so much on what the other players do.
Yes.
Which, for an abstract game, you kind of don't want that. Abstract games should be something where, like, abstract games are the best when it's usually just 2 players. A lot of the great abstract games are usually 2 players or one team versus the other.
And I think that's why they included the 2 versus 2, but I agree completely.
But even then, like, yeah, because there's like so much, because you have so much control. You're supposed to have so much control over abstract games because there's the elimination of randomness. But also the issue with this is that they have the randomness still if you don't play the advanced rules. But with how simple this game is,
even
like,
if
you don't
even
want
if you
to
did,
use.
because people are moving things
there
around.
would be less because
But not
that's
by
not
much.
technically
You still have to pay attention
randomness
before
because
other people. It's like what they do. Like, okay, like Alan has like his dice up. You have your dice up. I have to pay attention to 4 different other people. I'm trying to plan mine. I can't really plan mine without planning theirs. They're going to be next to me.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like you do your action for yourself, and you're not doing it to screw over other people. But that's what happens.
Or you end up screwing over yourself because it's just like, okay, I placed mine down first. Oh wait, now Alan sees where I'm going to place mine, and he can now plan his powers around where I place my dice.
You thought about this way more than I did, man.
It's just I do love abstract games, but like.
Would you like this one, Lucy?
No.
Okay.
The thing is, there's too many people, too many unnecessary random elements for how simple this game is. Because that's the thing. There's no in-depth thinking. Because even if the moves are simple, like, for example, another, like, good abstract game, like Tosh Kalar, like,
name drop.
It's a really good game because, like, you can feel the powers, but you can plan out your moves, and they interact with your opponent, and it's just like it's a clash of ideas. There's no clash of ideas here. That's the main selling point of, like, any kind of abstract game. Is, like, you have a plan, and if it doesn't go well, it's not your fault, it's not randomness' fault, it's because your other player played against you well.
Did that feel good? Because you nailed that.
Yeah, that's the thing though. That's pretty much it. That's the issue. It's an abstract game, but without the depth of what makes abstract good or appealing. Which is a shame because the components are so good.
They are.
They put so much energy. The art is great. The components are so good. The insert fits perfectly.
The rulebook looks great.
Yeah, it's just a lot of graphic design was put into this that was beautiful, and it didn't deserve it.
I agree, and like I said, I always do this now. This is my new thing. I asked, does anyone want a copy of this game? Nobody wanted a copy of this game. My 7-year-old doesn't want to play it again. I don't want to play it again. So Baron Voodoo from Lucky Duck Games, I think we can all say this is a hard recommendation. And who would? Okay, is there anyone you would recommend the game to? Because I can't even
It's a
think
simple game. So
No,
it's
it's
like,
not with the rules though. Like
It really
it's
isn't,
not.
yeah.
You're gonna get frustrated and be like,
because Alan was like,
you can
Yeah,
I agree.
you can sort of home rule it and it wouldn't change much.
I mean, then why aren't you just making your own game?
Yeah.
Why are you even buying a game if you're going to do that? You're like, oh, I have to fix this game by making my own rules. Then you've just created your own thing.
but the thing is, 4 sentences, 3 sentences. It could have been so easily fixed, and like I'm just puzzled how it got through blind play testing when the examples were not that. Like, how did the isolation example? How did no one? Because it's not clear at all.
It's not clear, like, if it is what we think, what we like fear it is, then it's a really bad power.
That too. Baron,
and that shouldn't have got through it either.
Baron Voodoo from Lucky Duck Games. Very hard recommendation for just about anybody. It looks like it might
Which
be a
is a
cup of tea. Then why do you watch my channel? Did you just hate what we say? It's like everything Bauer likes, I hate, and vice versa. Then you'll love Baron Voodoo. But there you go. It looks like, yeah, never mind. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. And in the comments below, let me know what was the game that you played most recently that you hated. I didn't hate this game. What's the last game you played? that
You were very
hated?
passionate about
Hated.
this, not liking this game.
I don't feel like I hated it.
Yeah.
Gosh, what?
I know
what
when you
have we
slammed
played
that
lately?
rule book down.
Did I dislike this more than Fairy Season? That's the question. I kind of like Fairy Season.
Yeah, I didn't think that one was too bad.
You know what? It is this one.
It is this one.
Baron Voodoo.
Yeah, for sure.
That I hated?
Yeah. Oh, Campaign for President. Don't forget that one. Did you guys hate that one?
Oh, I didn't play that one. I
Oh,
wasn't
you
here.
dodged that bullet.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I actually watched the review or your thoughts from the corner video, and I was like, glad I wasn't there.
No, it was pretty bad. That's probably the winner, yeah.
All right, there you go. Let me know in the comments below. You got one?
No,
All right.
I got nothing.
All right. He just loves everything.
Would
it be Baron Voodoo?
I mean,
It was
lately,
probably,
yes.
it was
There you go.
probably Twilight Imperium, let's speak.
Don't say that. Don't ever say
No.
that.